Welcome, people. We are in the closet, and we are going to podcast with some friends, but they're not here.
Right. There are our dear friends from TikTok.
We've done this
We've done it
twice.
No, one time we didn't use it.
Yeah, we did put two up.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I really hope that we didn't put the one up we didn't want to use.
Why didn't we want to use it?
Because it was when you went live and I went live.
No. That was another time.
Okay. So,
Multiple times.
happy birthday to Nick Gers. I don't know how old you are today, but happy birthday to you. It's a great day to have a birthday. It's my dad's birthday as well. It is St. Patrick's Day, and we are decked out in our green gear. I've worn green all day. Jeff just threw it on for the podcast.
I was wearing green. I wore a green hat all day.
Oh, you did. You're right. So here we are doing our podcast with our TikTokers. We're going live. Tonight we're opening it up to let them interact with us, so hopefully they can give us the substance of the TikTok. So questions will come across, and we will answer them here on our podcast. And somebody just asked me what my favorite color was. My favorite color.
Ooh, I know this.
You better know it.
I know this.
Jeff and I have been together for a hot minute. He better know
Yellow.
my favorite color. It is yellow. That is right.
Yellow.
Thanks for that question. Hey, Sarah, what's going on, girl? We're doing our podcast tonight.
What's up, Sarah?
Give us some topics to talk about. It is St. Patrick's Day. Normally, I really love St. Patrick's Day. It's a nice, fun, jovial time, but everything's just been so heavy and gloom and doom, and the weather sucks that it was like, yes, you're right, Derek. You guessed it, yellow. So anyway, Jeff's just on his phone acting like we're not even doing a podcast. Sarah says she has a surprise for us. Ooh, I like it. Yeah, we did put on green. Anyway, so it's St. Patrick's Day, and we've stayed home almost all day.
We have been. We've been home. I've been working from home today.
Most people are working from home for now, but I don't want to talk about any of that nonsense on the podcast tonight and on TikTok Live. To answer your question, this is mine and Jeff's podcast. It's called In the Closet because we record our podcast in our closet.
It's where we are right now.
Yeah, well, you can turn the camera.
That you can see. That is
Right. Sometimes
Angie's side of the closet, which is nice. It's neat. And then you've got my side of the closet, which is not as
it's not bad.
nice.
It's not bad. It's not bad. And people ask me all the time because where I work out all the time because I'm a trainer and everything. They ask me. One guy. When I go into the gym in the mornings, in my early sessions, there's a guy that teaches classes before me. And he just came out the other day and he said, I have never seen you walk in this gym with the same pair of yoga pants on. Now, I only see him 3 days a week, so I obviously wear my yoga pants over and over again. But just coincidentally, he had never seen. And he had asked me how many pair of yoga pants I have. And I probably, I told him it's around 70. Here is my yoga pants collection.
Can you show them from this angle?
Yeah. So all of those, and they're kind of like jammed in there, but all of these, yes, I have like, they're my babies. I have like 70 some pair of yoga pants to answer Hunter's question.
That's just the ones that aren't in the wash.
Well, that's true. There's some in the wash, but I think I counted one day. And
she
there's
wears them every day.
They're
it's like her uniform.
Yeah. So anyway, that's that. But we did stay home a lot today. I did go live on TikTok and record a lower body at-home workout, which a lot of people are resorting to because of all the craziness going on. So
lower body workouts?
No, at-home workouts.
People are resorting to lower body workouts?
At-home workouts. So I did that earlier, and then I did go to work today and try to hold a class, but it didn't go too well because people, I guess, are wanting to stay home. There was only a couple people there, and Jeff was one of them.
I didn't go to the gym today because I was working. And so I decided I'm going to go to Inch Fit Coast squats and stuff. And it kicked my ass.
I have a class called Squats and Stuff. It's specifically designed for lower body and glutes. I also have an online Squats and Stuff challenge if you're not local. So, anyway.
I burned about, I'd say in 60... Wait. It was about 40 minutes maybe?
Yeah, it was about a 40-minute workout.
and I burned over 600, 700 calories.
600 calories in 40 minutes is not too shabby. I know how to design a workout. So anyway, what are we going to talk about tonight? And I do not, again, let me reiterate this for the people on TikTok that's going to hopefully give us the substance of this podcast. I can't get comfortable tonight. We aren't talking about the C word, and I'm not talking about
Cunt.
I'm not talking about that. I'm the other C word. I'm not going to bring it up. We're not going to talk about. We all need to escape the insanity of the whole thing. So let's have fun and let's talk about some fun, upbeat, positive, funny stuff. Okay?
Yes.
Here we go. Wait, you talk, I'm reading. If any of your listeners are new to your podcast, what's your favorite you've done to go back to? Like our favorite podcast that we've done?
We listened to one recently because we were doing a second one with a surrogate, and we went back and we listened to one. I think it was like number 89.
Yeah.
And it's silly. It was funny. Like we were sitting there laughing because we know that it was all improv.
It's. I forget what number it is. Is it number
88 or 89?
80 something, and it's called Mama's Love and Belly, because we're talking about surrogacy, and Jeff came up with this idea of basically formulating a baby in like a crock pot type of thing.
People won't be. It goes back to I'm telling you, we're behind right now. I thought it'd already be here. People aren't going to freaking go through childbirth. That's so primal. You're going to have labs where you can donate your eggs and your sperm, and you can have this baby, and you can hang out with it and bond with it, and you can get like the 4.0, like the baby's mama belly 4.0, that comes with like belts and stuff, so you can feel the baby kicking. But you're still a 10. You know, you haven't like.
Go back and listen to it. You should get on your phone and figure out what episode it is. But that's probably one of our favorite ones.
That's just one that we listened to recently.
Yeah.
The thing is I never really go back and listen to them, so it's hard to remember which ones are good or not. But I tell you what cracks me up is I always get, there's people in the community that I'm acquaintances with, that I didn't talk to at all before the podcast, that out of the blue, like there's some guys that I don't hang out with, I don't really know, and I honestly didn't even have their number programmed in my phone, but they'll just text me quotes during the day, and I'll go, who is this? And they'll go, it's so-and-so. And I'll go, oh, what's up, man? And I'll go, what do you mean? He's like, it's a quote, it's you, it's what you said, it's hysterical. You said that or Ange said that in the episode 2 days ago, and right. I'm like, I don't even remember.
They'll throw us quotes that we said, and we do so many that it's like, wait, we said that? But that's one that we, like Jeff said, we've gone back and listened to that was pretty fun. Mint chip ice cream said I was pretty and I look like Billie Eilish. Thank you so much.
She's so much hotter than Billie Eilish.
Shout out please to Daylin. And what are we drinking tonight is a question. I'm
on a juice cleanse, so I'm drinking a specialty juice.
Yep.
Cleansing.
I'm drinking Chardonnay.
Thanks, Ben. You're my boy.
What's up, Sideways? Favorite ever story of one of your kids? Oh, gosh. Sarah, that is a good question. Give me a second to think. Just give me a second to think.
To make it easy for you guys, though, one that was pretty decent was the one we just posted today.
What?
Fetishes Part 4.
I thought
it was decent.
I'm not a big fan. We did this whole series. It was a 4-part series because that's how long it took to get through. It was fetishes and kinks, and there were so many weird ones on there that I don't know. They weren't my favorite ones. Jeff liked them, but they weren't necessarily my favorite ones. There was one episode that we did. I'm not sure what number
why
it
would you
was.
Why would you downplay our podcast?
I didn't like talking about the fetishes.
That last one was good. It was funny. We were laughing at them.
I mean, it was good.
It was the best one out of the 4.
Maybe it was the best one out of the 4.
They were all really good, though. She downplays them. She totally tears us down. Why are you tearing us down?
I'm not tearing us down. I never said it was bad. I just said I didn't like them.
They're all gold, pure gold.
Oh my gosh. I like the one where I fixed boxing. There was one where I fixed the way boxing goes. So there's some good ones. But anyway, there's 230 some of them, so it's hard to, I can't go back. I have to go back and look at the titles to even see. What's up, Anthony? A story about the kids.
Here, you know which one you need to go listen to? I'm going to find it for you. you need to go listen to Johnny Cash.
That was a good one.
I don't know if it's really good, but it was fresh and it was a good story.
It was titled Johnny Cash. It was a story. We won't tell the story because we want you to go listen to it, but it was basically an Uber story. Jeff was driving for Uber for a while, and he had
really
a really...
for the sole purpose of stories for the podcast.
Yeah, he had a really interesting writer one time, so go check out that episode. But I'm trying to think about Sarah's question. A favorite story about one of the kids. My goodness, that's hard to think up. What's up, Big Daddy? If you can you think of a
titty tape?
I'm trying to answer. They're trying to give us. Sarah asked a question.
I can only do one thing at a time.
Well, then stop doing that. And let's.
Why are we skipping the first question?
We answered the first question.
But you wanted me to find them.
Oh, you're trying to find the episode number. We'll just go to the 80 something.
Well, I want to find the other one too.
Well, anyway.
Our favorite story about a kid?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There are so many. Our kids are so different. Their personalities are way different. Maddie is... she's a realist. She's... How would I describe her?
Who, Maddie?
Maddie is extremely responsible. She's our oldest. A realist. She's really strong-minded. She's very strong-minded.
She was a story about Maddie. Maddie never really dated. She was always very independent. But then she dated and fell for a guy, and he broke her heart, I think.
Right.
And she said, "I'm not dating any more of these high school kids." And she didn't.
She really didn't.
She had friends. You know what? I think that was the best thing that could have happened to her because I think most kids would kill for a high school situation like hers. I loved having her around in high school because she had all these friends. She had guy friends. She had some girlfriends. But it was a smaller group, and they had so much fun together. And they always had us laughing our asses off. And Maddie got to enjoy that without any guy or relationship kind of keeping her from being herself.
Right.
And she's always been herself. And even now, in college, she's dating. And as she's dating, guys that, are in or out or not really staying committed totally, she's like, fine. I'm not putting up with your shit. It hurts, I think, but she's very strong-minded and protects herself.
And she's very independent, and I love that. I love that she's very independent and that she's a good role model for her younger siblings. A funny story about Maddie, though, is she's very... And I would say this if she was sitting right here, which hopefully our TikTokers tomorrow, she's coming home. So hopefully tomorrow night when we go live, she can pop in and you can meet her because we talk about Maddie a lot. You've met all of our other kids, but you haven't met Maddie yet. And she'll be home tomorrow, so hopefully she'll pop in and say hi. But a funny thing about her, she's really awkward when it comes to, like, talking on the phone or ordering through a drive-thru. Like, she doesn't know. Like, she'll order a pizza, and we'll make her order the pizza, and she's like, they'll say, Papa John's, how can I help you? And she'll be like, I guess I want a medium pizza with pepperoni, I guess. Like, she's not sure of herself when she's, like, talking through the telephone, and she's that way with the drive-thru. And we crack up. It is so awkward. And I don't know when she's going to, like, figure that out.
I think she's getting it because now where she works, like, I sat there the night you were getting a massage, and she was actually, it was weird because I was like, who is this person that's calling?
True.
She was forced in her job to call up people that had not been using their I guess it's your massages, and they pile up and you need to use them. So she's calling these households and saying, hey, you have 6 of these you haven't used. You need to use them before they expire, whatever the situation is.
Right.
And she was talking to the people and having conversations, and it wasn't weird. So it was kind of interesting.
Ben is right. That's the world we live in now. It's like we're always texting. We're not having that direct communication. And then Sarah said she's that person that would never send an order back because of awkward. Yes, you're right. She would never. And that is something that I teach my kids is you always send your order back. If you're paying for something, if you're paying for food or a service or whatever, if it's not right, you have to confront poor performance. My dad always taught that to me. It's his birthday today. Happy birthday, Dad.
Happy
Even though you don't
birthday.
listen to my podcast, I don't think. But anyway, you have to nicely confront poor performance. You don't have to be bitchy. You don't have to be mean. But if your steak's not cooked right, politely say, I'm sorry, it's not cooked right. Yes, they might spit in your food. They might do something. I don't care. You always confront poor performance. Period. A.
Period A. What was I going to say?
I don't know. Oh,
I
and
have no idea.
Brooke is the comedian. She's hilarious. She gets her funnies from Jeff.
She's fun.
That girl can make me laugh like Jeff does. I mean, like if she could be on this she has been on our podcast before. But if she could be, she shows up on our TikTok sometimes. If she would stay long enough, you all would see her real personality. All she wants to do is come in and flip off the camera for whatever reason. She thinks that's cool. I think it's stupid and dumb, but whatever. If she could spend a little time, she'd have you guys rolling like Jeff. She's really, really funny.
She's funny.
I'm trying to think of a funny story with her. There's just so many. She's just hysterical.
Yeah, she's the one that's got herself in. She's got herself in trouble too. You have those stories where she's got herself in trouble, but
yeah. Oh, she's pushed. She's pushed the limit.
Because she has a problem saying no. I think a little bit. She doesn't want to say no.
She's pushed the limit. She is our. She is full of personality. We'll just say that. Kaylee is our daughter who we adopted when she was 14. A funny story about Kaylee. I don't know why this strikes me so funny. I'll get to a Nate story in just a minute. Kaylee, one time, she was sitting in the back with her boyfriend. We were taking them somewhere. Oh, we were taking them to the mall. And we always, when we drop them off, we always say, now listen, don't even think about shoplifting because there's secret shoppers and this and that. We were giving her a lecture. She was like, oh, I might try something. And I said, Kaylee, don't shoplift. You don't even look good in orange. And she goes, dead silence in the car. She goes, Mom, I'm not even wearing orange right now. And me and Jeff and her boyfriend started laughing and she totally didn't get it. She was like, what? I don't have orange on. What do you mean I don't look good in orange? I was like, Kaylee, think about it. And her boyfriend was like, give her a few minutes. She'll figure it out. And then she started busting out laughing. She figured out that we were talking about, you'll go to jail because you're 18 now and you don't look good in orange. Right over her head.
Who's going to shoplift these days? I mean, who's going
They
to...
do!
You will catch people. You're going to get caught. There's cameras you can buy for freaking $20 and put them up.
They shoplift all the time.
I know what I was going to say. You're right. The day we live in, like, we had to... I remember my dad had his own business. He's always owned his own real estate company. And at my house, of course, it was back in the day where the phone rang. The kids had to answer the phone, and we had a script. Like, we were taught to converse with people, adults, anybody, and say, hello, this is the Runyon residence. How may I help you? And they would ask for, and I'd say, he's not here. Could I take a message? Or hold on 1 second and let me find him. Just
right.
Things that would be so uncomfortable for our kids now. And they wouldn't be professional.
No.
And it's like I was taught, you had to answer the phone and you had to show respect to people.
Well, like you said, because we had landlines, we had house phones. They don't. They had their own personal phone. When their personal phone rings, they're just like, "Sup?" You know what I mean?
Well, we're the same way now. I'm the same way now. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you. I want to text with you. I talk to people all freaking day,
Same.
business-wise.
Same.
And it's like, once I get away from that freaking phone at my office, I don't mind to talk like this or FaceTime every once in a while with someone, but like, I just rather text with my buddies. I don't have the energy to hold the phone up to my ear and just talk.
I understand that, but if it gets so long where you're texting paragraph after paragraph after paragraph, then just call me, right? I mean, like, if we have to do that, then just call me.
Yeah, well, my thing is if we're gonna do paragraph text, we can no longer be friends.
Why?
because it's too much for me. I can't be in a relationship where I'm getting paragraphs. That's way too much. When the girls send me paragraphs, I text back without reading it and say, I'm not reading all that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to read it all. It's
Right.
too much.
Yeah, I agree. A funny story about Nate. I mean, it's not really funny, but it's just something kind of cute that he does. And if you're on my Snapchat, and if you've been on my Snapchat for a while, you've seen this happen. I haven't snapped it in a while because I haven't been the one picking him up recently. Jeff has been. But I park on this side road to pick him up so I don't have to get in the carpool line when it's warm out. And I'll walk to get him.
Hey, Sid.
What's up, Sid? I'll walk to get him, to the doors of the school, and then we'll walk back. The boy can't get in the car the right way. I have to, there's this wall, like concrete wall that I park by. I have to park close enough where I can roll the window down. He can throw his book bag in, and when he throws his book bag in, he likes me to do a boomerang on Instagram, because he likes to see it going in and out the window. And then he likes to climb in the car, Dukes of Hazzard style. Like, feet in, jump in the car. He refuses to open the door. It's like a thing with him. Sometimes he'll go head first, sometimes feet first, and then he thinks it's hysterical and he wants me to snap it. So that's something, like a funny thing that Nate does. He's a goofy kid too. He is funny as well. All my kids really are funny in their own kind of way, I feel like. Maddie's probably the least comedic.
Right now.
But anyway.
I think it'll change. I think she's too serious.
She's real serious right now.
I think she's funny when she's in her element. I think like today I was FaceTiming with her, and she was in a room with her two besties, and she couldn't focus on our conversation because they were making her laugh, and they all had an inside joke going on. I don't know what it was.
Yeah.
But I think she has to be in a certain space to be. I think that's where she gets that from you.
Right.
That part, Ange, was like when you were young. You were always keeping your eyes open and thinking about the serious stuff, like getting stuff done or focusing.
True.
Like you're not like that anymore as
True.
much unless you have to be. But even when we had kids, it's like I don't know if it's an instinct for a female or a mother. Well, I think it's for anybody that just maybe it's the type A personality, but it's like you had to be totally in this comfort space and make sure all your ducks in a row, and then you could let loose and be funny, and you could relax and be happy and funny, and you joke around. But it's like you didn't joke around, and she's kind of the same way.
I'm a very regimented person. I am. You might, and the people on the podcast and the people in TikTok, my TikTok family, might not realize this because you see me in a different element. You see me when I'm in relax mode all the time. You guys don't always see me when I'm in work mode. I'm very regimented. I'm very routine oriented. I'm very rigid with my, routine. But once I'm done with that for the day and it's over, then I can relax and kind of like chill out and unwind. What's up, Charlie? How are you? So that I guess is true. But I'm trying to get better at being like relaxed, all the time. Sarah says that that none of our kids, you couldn't live with Jeff and not be funny.
In your opinion, is
she's asking, is Maddie more like me? What's up, Michael?
No,
I don't think.
No, she's more like me actually. In her like the way me and Maddie are a lot alike. Not personality wise as in funny, but in nothing really bothers us.
Laid back, things roll off my back, chill.
Like, Maddie will get hyper over certain things that stress her out, and I'm the same way. But everything else, it's like, we're just like, whatever.
Right.
Like, it's going to be fine. Like, it doesn't matter. It's not that big of a deal.
And I think Brooke gets her sense of humor from Jeff, like her funnies from Jeff. But Brooke, and I'm not saying that Jeff doesn't have this at all. This is not.
Brooke's more like Angie.
This is going to really come off weird. Brooke is more like me, except for her being funny, because I'm not that funny. But Brooke has a huge, and I'm not saying this to be mean, or that you don't, but Brooke has a huge heart. Like, I'm not saying that you don't have a huge heart. You do. You're very, very caring. But Brooke and I, okay, here's a story.
I'm going to say this. It's vulnerable. You guys are very vulnerable.
I have a story. Okay, so Brooke and I, which kid personality is most like? Brooke's more like me.
Yes.
Here's a story. We were at Walmart one day, And we were walking to the car, and there was this little old lady pushing her cart, kind of talking to herself, looking kind of confused and looking kind of worried. You know what I mean? Like, she was worried. And we went by her, we got in the car, and we drove by, and I was like, that lady looks like she's lost or confused. And she was like, she really does. And we drove off, and I stopped to try to turn out into the lane to leave Walmart, and we both looked at each other. She was like, Mom, you've got to go back to see if she needs help. I was like, Brooke, you really think she goes, I'm not going to be able to rest unless we go back and make sure she does not need help finding her car. What if it was cold? She's like, what if she's walking around forever? So we went back, pulled up beside her, rolled down the window, and we asked her if she needed help finding her car. And she said, no, I was supposed to meet my husband out here, and he's not here. And we said, why don't you call him on your phone? And she said, well, my phone's dead, and da-da-da. Anyway, long story short, Brooke looked at me and goes, Mom, let her use your phone. And I'm like, yeah, good idea. So we called. Anyway, her husband was back in the hardware section. Miscommunication, everything was fine. My point is that we both kind of looked at each other at the same time and were like, we've got to help this lady, right? Where Maddie would be more like, she's going to be fine. She'll be fine. She's a grown woman. She'll figure it out. Like, that's what Maddie would say. Not that Maddie doesn't have a heart or doesn't care, but she's just like, she'll figure it out. And I think Jeff would be the same way, like, unless they're, like, obviously hurt. But Brooke and I look deeper into things like that. We have this, like, emotional side to us. So, anyway.
Happy St. Patrick's Day, C. Rizzle. Yeah, I would say they're more like I have a heart and I want to help people.
Oh, I'm not saying you don't. I didn't mean it that way.
But that person, I don't know. I would have been like, she's going to be good. And I'm honest to God, I probably wouldn't have even noticed. I would have just been on my way and on my day, and I probably wouldn't notice. If Brooke would have said anything, I'd have been like, fine, we'll go whatever.
We would have noticed.
Been like, but I wouldn't have.
But Brooke and I...
You guys have a big heart, but it almost, like, that's something where it intersects with vulnerability, where you can be almost taken advantage of because you feel sorry or you feel like you need to help people.
That's true.
And people can manipulate you a little easier because your heart is...
But what else do we have?
You have a booty.
No, I'm not talking about that. Like, what else do we have, though? We do have a heart, and we could be taken advantage of, but if we figure out you're taking advantage of us, or you rub us the wrong way, you best watch out, because we both have a big old attitude.
They do, they're bitches.
A big attitude. Like, if you cross me, or if you cross, like, we are like that. It's just like game on now, when we figure it out. Sarah said, if Avery asked for Brooke's hand in marriage, what would you say? Would you say yes? She's only 16.
Look, no, she's 16.
If she were older...
Avery, I would pull him in the room and I'd say, hey, bro. Not yet.
Yeah. But if she were older, then, yeah, obviously. What microphone are we using, Sid?
It's a Yeti Blue. It's not that big of a deal.
It's black, though.
But the brand is blue.
At 18?
They have a white one that's blue. At 18...
I mean, she's 18. What are you going to say?
We're about making our kids... What our goal was, and I think I said this earlier to somebody, maybe it was Sarah we talked about, but it's like what our goal is we want to have productive citizens leave our home. 18's when you're legal. If you think you can handle shit on your own and you're good, I don't think a lot of kids can at 18. I think that they need more time. I think they need to go to college if they have a passion and they know what they want to do. And even if they want to get a job and they want to start life, that's okay to stay at home. But once you're 18, then, and you want to get married, that's a choice you have to make. But I would say to him, I'd say, hey, when you decide to get married, if you decide how are you going to take care of my daughter? Because if she is married to you, and you're now the man, I want someone like that I'm trying to raise. I'm trying to raise good, productive citizens that when they decide to be an adult, they can support themselves. So when you decide to date or marry my daughter, how are you going to support the two of you?
Yeah.
And it's fine if you don't have a plan, but you better get a plan together before you marry because I'm not going to support the two of you.
Yeah. Sarah said, how old were we when we got married? We were 22.
23.
No. We were 22. Wait, hold on.
98, I was 23 when we got married. I was born in 75. I turned
22. We were 22.
I turned 23 May 21st, 1998.
You were 23. I was 22.
Yes.
I was still 22.
She was a baby.
So there you go.
But we had graduated college. We had 4 years of college. We graduated. We both had jobs. We had an apartment.
We were ready. And we had been together forever.
We were ready.
Like for years and years and years. So that's a little bit
Because
different.
I knew that the day I decided I decided to get married, I knew what it was. My father had always taught me. It's time for you to move out. Do you have a place to live? Do you have an apartment? Do you have your car? Do you have your insurance? He ain't gonna co-sign. He isn't gonna. You know what I mean? None of that's gonna happen.
Yeah, we had somebody said, did you have a long engagement? We did have a long engagement. Jeff asked me to marry him when we were freshmen in college. Okay? We were supposed to get married the summer before our senior year and then be married our senior year of college, but he called it off. So I got mad. I stormed off. I think I went into the woods and he had to chase me. I was so mad. I thought he was like trying to wiggle out of it. It's like, you're getting cold feet. Like, you don't want to do it. Why? What in the world? But he was actually thinking logical about it.
You got to understand, the college we went to, we were super, super involved. We were both, I was in the student government association.
So was I.
So was Angie. Angie ran a radio station. She was a huge part. She had a radio show, and she was managing the station. We were both RAs.
Right.
And so what that meant is, at our college, it was a Christian college. We couldn't stay in dorms together. We couldn't be in dorms together. It was men in men's dorms and apartments, women in women's dorms and apartments. Because if we got married, we didn't have marriage apartments on campus, so we would have had to move off campus. And I watched all my friends get married after our sophomore year and our freshman year, and they were gone.
Right.
College ended for them.
Right.
They came to class and they had to go back and work, and they had to live at home with their new wife.
So he saw all that and was logical about it. What's up, crazy Jess? Anyway, he saw all that, and he actually made a good decision for us. After I cooled off and I threw my little fit that I threw, and we did wait until after we graduated college to get married, and I'm glad that we did that. I'm so glad that we did that.
Because we had an amazing senior year. I mean, junior and senior year, I got to walk with her on homecoming court because she is, she was always the hottest girl at the college.
Oh my gosh!
And was the one that was always up there winning that kind of crap, and none of that would have happened. She got to run the radio station. She was winning awards. I was balling out, winning intramural championships and scoring titles.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
And we got to do the thing. Like, I loved having the time with my friends. People say that all the time. They're like, "Man, that must have sucked. You couldn't take your girl back to your room." I didn't want to. I loved the fact that when I got to my dorm or to my apartment,
Agree.
that there was no freaking buddy's girlfriend laying in my bedroom.
Agree.
That I could just strip down to my freaking boxers and act like a complete idiot.
Right.
And I could go play ball till 1 a.m. and come back and eat pizza till 3.
And I think that's why we work so well. Somebody asked what's going on here. We're doing a podcast, Mr. Mechanic, and Crazy Jess, just in case you are unaware of what's going on. We're doing a podcast. We're recording it live right here, and you guys are feeding us what we're talking about on our podcast. Okay. Does Nate like girls yet? I think he's starting to.
Does. He's starting. It's hitting.
I think he's starting to.
It's time.
Because, and I think, he definitely is starting to. He'll be 12 on April 1st.
I think he's noticing.
Okay, good, Crazy Jess. I figured you did. Huh? He's starting to notice girls.
Yeah, we followed, what's his name? White Mike. We followed White Mike and his daughter out of the school
I think that's
last
who he
week, and you could see he was trying to, he was like acting, he's like,
he's like trying to
he's like Mr. Cool.
He's trying to have some swagger to him.
around this girl because he has a little crush, I think.
What's up, J-Dogs? Nate's starting to get into girls. I had my first kiss when I was in the 5th grade. Yeah, to Pickle Juice Guy.
pickle juice guy.
Yeah, I told you all that story the other night, but just in case the podcast doesn't know, basically, long story short, the reason I don't like pickles is because my first kiss was arranged on the bus by the two of us, but we had to have our snack first after school. Thank you, Crazy Jess, for saying I'm amazing. I loved being on your live today, too. Anyway, and so he was like, all right, I'll go home and eat a snack. I'll eat a snack. Anyway, he came to my house. I opened the door. He laid one on me, and I was like, what the heck? Did you just eat pickles for your snack? We were in 5th grade. He was like, I drank pickle juice. And I was like, never again do that or I'm not kissing you anymore. And he didn't. But, yeah, pickle juice guy. Anyway, that's it. It was so gross.
Yes.
So
See,
gross.
Lizzie.
Does anybody drink pickle juice? Brooke does. So gross.
Yeah, some people do.
But
George is here. Crazy girl Jess.
I already called her out.
No, I'd hadn't, so it wasn't official yet.
Oh, it's not official until Jeff says it.
Not until Hefe.
All right.
Not until Hefe speaks up.
Jeff, how old were you?
I was 19. I'm just kidding.
When you had your first date, or your first girlfriend?
Oh, my first girlfriend? Well, I was dating girls since 2nd grade, yo. Are you talking about hooking up with one, though?
No, I'm talking about your first girlfriend.
I started dating girls in like 3rd or 4th grade.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, I did too. I started, you date.
I mean, I dated, I think my first real girlfriend was in like, but here's the thing, was that a boyfriend?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of pickle juice drinkers on here.
There's a lot of pickle juice drinkers on here. I mean, like, because when you say, someone that you date and you talk to, or you, like...
I mean, I guess, and like George said, that's puppy love. I do understand that. But like the very first boyfriend I can think of that I actually feel like was my boyfriend, that like we held hands, we tried to go places together, was Pickle Juice Boy. That was I consider, he is who I consider my first boyfriend.
Well, my first girlfriend was probably in 6th grade or 7th grade.
Yeah.
And probably six, and it was a longer relationship. But it was just a church thing. Like, we went to church together, and so we dated at church all the time. And that's a lot, people. Because I grew up in a church where my grandfather was the pastor, and I was there at least 3 times a week, if not more. So it was when I dated Stacy for, like, ever, it seemed like. So,
like I said, mine was in 5th grade. And we didn't really go on dates together, but we lived like 3 doors away from each other. So we always hung out together. Like in the neighborhood, but like we were always together. We were known as a couple. You know what I'm saying? So, but what was it? It was 5th grade, right? 5th and 6th grade. So it really, in the grand scheme of things, wasn't anything, but it was my first technical boyfriend. J-Dog said you should have said Angie, but I knew it wasn't because he dated a few people that I knew of before he dated
training.
me.
She has a client that she's been training for probably 3 years or more?
4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years?
Yeah.
That was the girlfriend before her.
No, she was not.
Okay, she was the girlfriend before her.
Yeah. So I'm training one.
And she was my friend. That's the problem with that deal was Lisa we were more like friends. Like we talked a lot, we were close. But it was like a friendship thing more so. And it's funny because you're dating somebody, like, it's weird at that age, is when somebody tells you that, like, because we went to dances and we hung out and we talked all the time. But it's like when a girl tells you that and you're like, yeah, you know what, you're right. This is just kind of, like, it didn't bother me. Like, it didn't, like, her telling me that, it was kind of like a mutual, like, she had intended to break up, I guess, with me that day and say we're just like... But I was like, you know what? You're right. We are just kind of friends. Yeah,
you're just friends. She's a sweet girl.
And she's really cool.
Charlie says, Stacy, that's my wife's name. Hold up, Jeff. Oh. That's too funny, Charlie. No, but Lisa's a good girl. I train her. We're good. We're pretty good friends. And but yeah, I trained.
We were all friends after that. Like all through high school, we were all friends.
It's weird that I trained one of Jeff's ex-girlfriends, but it's pretty funny. But I do love Lisa. I think the reason you like Lisa so much is because she played basketball like you.
We had that in common.
I'm not a
We
baller.
were ballers,
Lisa
yeah.
was a baller. I mean, she was like a good basketball player. In fact, I think she could probably beat you to this day. I think you guys should do a one-on-one. She could beat you.
She can't. She didn't play, does she? When was the last time she played ball?
I
You don't quit playing ball.
I don't know,
if
but
you
I
quit
think
for a
that
month, you can't pick it up.
Oh, listen, he's getting mad.
She can't touch me, man. She can't touch me. If
Getting
Meg can't, she
mad.
can't.
Oh, you called out Meg?
Meg doesn't listen, or else I wouldn't have.
Big Daddy says my ex is Stacy. Everybody's.
I tell you
What
what,
do you mean
Stacey
Meg
got
doesn't
around.
listen?
I don't think
Meg's one of your best friends. She doesn't listen to our podcast.
she might.
I
don't
feel like
know.
you should call her up right now and let me confront her. That's wrong. Your best friend.
You know, we should be playing ball tonight. Meg, one of my very close friends, Meg, she's a baller. Listen, we play ball every Tuesday night when we don't have Corona floating around, and she played Division I ball. She's a point guard. This is crazy. She is the all-time leading scorer for West Virginia high school basketball players, including the men.
Right, and so you're talking crap about her.
Including the men.
You're talking.
Listen, and no, we're going to do this. Rod Thorne, NBA legend, Hall of Famer. Jerry West, NBA legend, Hall of Famer. Randy Moss, NFL, but he was 3-time Player of the Year in West Virginia. Jason Williams, White Chocolate. Who else do we got? We got all kinds of great basketball. Tamar Slay, fantastic. Played for the Nets.
He's going to be on the podcast.
He's one of our close friends. He's
Next
going to be
week.
on the podcast. He played for the Nets and Charlotte Hornets. All those guys, the logo, and Meg. But let me tell you something. If she spots up and you don't catch her, and she catches the ball and she gets a shot off behind the 3-point line, 9 out of 10 times it goes in. So people are like, "You play with girls?" I was like, "Come on, let's go. Come on, play. Let's play."
Mm-hmm.
Don't mess with girls that know how to play ball.
Yep.
They know what they're doing.
We need Michael back on the podcast. Yes, we do need Michael back on the podcast. Michael called me this morning.
Hey,
So-
girl.
I love when Michael calls me because the phone rings and Jeff says, before I answer the phone, Jeff goes, "Hey, girl." And then as soon as I answer the phone, you can hear Michael, loud as anything, go, "Hey, girl." I love him. He will be back on the podcast. He's not going to be back in town till next week. But when he comes back in town next week, we're definitely going to have him on the podcast.
Get your sleep, Crazy Jess.
Okay, Crazy Jess. I'll catch you tomorrow, hopefully, on your live.
Stacy's are dangerous, Big Daddy.
I know that we're talking that all of our TikTokers are talking about Stacy's, like they
Pickle juice and Stacy's.
George said, "What if the roles were reversed and you worked with Pickle Juice guy?" His name is Shane, by the way. What if you worked with him? Would that be weird?
What do you mean?
I don't work with Lisa, but I work out with her, so I see her every day. What if Pickle Juice guy worked with you and you had to see him all the time? Would it be weird for you?
Not if it was similar to that situation, because you guys were friends.
Well, yeah, we were friends, so yeah.
I mean, and there was a buffer in between. It wasn't like
Yeah.
I left, like we broke up and I started dating Angie.
Yeah.
And me and Angie are really, really, really secure. I mean, you got to remember, we've been together. We're 44. We've been together since we were 15. The jealousy, I might have not been able to answer that this way when I was 20 or 25 or even 30.
Right.
But now it's like, we got 4 kids. We've seen everything together. The guys can have her for 6 years, and they're still not going to know the things to do that I know to do.
Right.
That's going to get it done.
Yeah, he's right. We've been together for a very, very long time.
Been for a minute.
For a hot minute. So, but these were good topics tonight. I think we're going to shut the podcast part down. What in the world was that? We're going to shut the podcast portion of this down, but we're going to stay live on TikTok for just a bit. Because I'm really getting uncomfortable sitting in this seat and trying to lean in like this.
And I need a refill.
I'm almost there. So podcast, we're going to shut this down. But like Jeff said, we are going to have our good friend, which he's a former NBA basketball player, Tamar Slay, on the podcast. He sent us a message tonight, either later this week or sometime next week, because now he has some extra time since things are kind of shut down right now.
Yeah, he's still currently with the NBA. He's one of the guys with the NBA's Player Association. So he's got all kinds of teams. So he's always in locker rooms. He's always with the players.
Right.
So he's still part of the NBA, which I'm sure we'll talk about that on the podcast.
Right. He'll have a lot of good stories to share.
And Ange trained him too.
I did train him, and I was so confused as to why a former NBA player would need a trainer. And I trained him for the first few weeks, and I was like, I see why. They can get out of shape too, y'all. So, but anyway, so we're gonna shut the podcast part down, and but we're gonna stay live on TikTok for a little bit. So, all right, peace out,
See you
y'all.
guys.